Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pure Ambition Podcast. I am fired up right now. Just got out of church. Typically, I record these on Friday mornings, but I had a busy Friday, so I didn't get to it. And I'm glad I didn't because Pastor Scott, my guy over at Thrive Austin Church, crushed it this morning. And he hit exactly what I needed to hear. And his message was to stop trying and to start training. Taking your life and looking at it as if you were an athlete. Specifically, he mentioned how he was an endurance athlete and he's trained for triathlons and Ironmans and marathons and all the things. And this switch that gets flipped mentally in your head when you start training for something. I think back to my time when I was playing football in college and I wrote down on my little note card, I wrote down, I will be first team all conference. I will be an all American. I will be all region. I wrote down all these things that that I set out to do. And while I didn't achieve any of them, I still had an amazing season, my best season that I had in college, and had a lot of accomplishments. And I just think back to when I had those goals and I was training with intention and purpose every single day, it raised the level of intention that I brought to every area of training in my life. I was getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. I was not missing recovery sessions. I never missed a workout. My nutrition was dialed in. My hydration was dialed in. My supplementation was dialed in. I was meditating, visualizing, praying. I was doing all the things that were helping me be the best athlete I could be. And so Pastor Scott came in and just absolutely crushed it today. It was exactly what I needed to hear because when you think about growth in any area of your life, whether it be physical health, emotional, spiritual, relationship, whatever else it may be, you have to train for it. You can't just passively go through it. And so we always are saying, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to have a better relationship with God. I'm trying to put on muscle in the gym. I'm trying to have a better relationship with my partner, whatever else it may be. If you're just trying, that is a lot different than actually training for it. Because when you start to train for it, you come up with a plan. You write down your schedule. Here's when I'm going to train. Here's what I'm going to eat. Here's when we're going to spend time together. Here's where I'm going to work on my business. When you're training for something, you make it happen. There is no, I don't have time for it. You put that on the calendar and you prioritize the goal that you're going after. For me, when I was playing football, it was everything on my schedule was built around my training. That was the most important thing in my life at the time because I saw this window, right? I was like, I have 10, 11 months and I'm never going to play football again. So I am going to train like I've never trained for anything in my life. And I'm not going to leave anything out there. I'm going to leave everything out on the field. I'm going to leave with no regrets. And while I didn't achieve all the goals that I wanted throughout that season, I did have an incredible season. I had an incredible experience. And I learned from those months that you can't control the outcome, but you can control your input and how much work you put in. And that same thing, that same principle is being applied to life right now. So Pastor Scott's message of not trying and starting to train, that's what we need to do in our spiritual lives. For me, spiritual growth is the number one priority for me this year. And I'm guilty of saying this too. I'm trying to have a better relationship with God. I'm trying to have a stronger relationship with Him, with Jesus. But what are the steps that I have to take? Right? And so for me, I am training by listening to the Bible in one year, reading along with it every morning. Non-negotiable. It's the first thing I do. I get out, I throw on the weighted vest, and I pop in my headphones and I start listening and I start following along on my phone. That for me, spending that intentional time with God has helped my spiritual growth tremendously. And then once I'm done, I digest it for a couple minutes and then I pray. I pray while I walk. you don't have to sit in a dark room and be on your knees, hands and knees, and to pray. That certainly works. And if that works for you, great. But for me, I like to be out in nature. I like to be fluid. I like to be in motion. That for me is when my brain works the best. That's when I take my calls. If I need to do creative work, like I always take a walk beforehand. When I'm talking to God, I do the same thing. So I'm talking about spiritual health here and building your spiritual fitness. But ultimately, this can be applied to anything in your life. If you want to 10x your business this year, if you want to amplify your relationship with your partner, if you want to lose 20 pounds, if you want to put on 10 pounds of muscle, if you want to run your first marathon, you're not just going to try to do that. You're going to train for it. So once you have that goal in mind, you have to reverse engineer what you're going to do. If you're trying to have a better relationship with your partner, are you having weekly date nights, a couple times a week? If you're trying to lose 20 pounds, is your nutrition dialed in? Do you know how much protein you need to take in? Do you know how many calories you're taking in? Do you know how many steps you're taking each day? How many times you're getting into the gym? If you're trying to 10x your business, do you have KPIs, key performance indicators that you're going to establish and then work back and start to train for? How many people do you need to reach out to every day? How many calls do you need to make? How many posts do you need to put out? All these things go into a training plan. So when I think about all the areas of my life that I'm trying to see improvement this year, and there's 4 main areas that I'm trying to improve on: relationships, health, business, and then personal, right? So in all 4 of those things, I'm not just trying, I'm actively training. So I have plans in place of what I'm doing every single day. For relationships, for example, I'm introducing myself to one new person each day. Whether that's at the gym, whether that's at church, whether that's at the co-working space, whether that's in the freaking grocery store. That's what I'm doing because I want to get better at talking to strangers and developing more meaningful relationships and sending 3 text messages out each day, telling people that I'm grateful for them or trying to provide value to them in some sort of way. So Pastor Scott really hit it out of the park this morning. And I'm glad that I waited, because when you stop trying and you start training, there's a whole different level of awareness and intention that you start to bring. When you have that plan in place and you start taking action and you start to feel and see those results and that progress, man, that's freaking powerful. Like, it gets me fired up just thinking about it, because I know that if I just continue on this path every single day with my faith, with my fitness, with my relationships, with my business, with whatever else, when I start being intentional about it, I know that the sky's the limit. So if you are pursuing some big goals this year, or if you just feel stuck, if you're like, man, you know what? I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to meet people. Maybe you should start training for it. And so this was a wake-up call for me in my life. And there were some areas of my life where I'm like, man, I have just been saying, yeah, I'm trying to be better at this. I'm trying to be better about my finances. I'm trying to be better about, organizing the things throughout the week. That's just an excuse of procrastination, of not doing the thing. So thank you, Pastor Scott, for ingraining this in my brain. And I'm grateful for all of you guys that I'm able to use this platform to share. It's like my digital diary. I hope you guys are taking value away from this. But think about the areas of your life where you need to start training and stop trying. For me, I ultimately have a goal. I want to have 1 million subscribers. I want to have 1 million followers, because not for the vanity metric of it, but because I feel like the more people that I can reach, the more people that I can impact, and the better of a world this is going to be. So I need to stop trying to do that and I need to start training for it. So I need to raise my level of intention each and every day and develop some systems and some processes that are going to help me do that. And for my spiritual health and my relationship with God, that's the biggest focus of my life. I've been consistent with it, but it's like, how do I raise that even a bit more? So something I'm thinking about and something that I think you guys should be thinking about as well. If you want to amplify your human experience and make progress on the goals, ambitions, and dreams that you have. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in. If you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or one of the million other platforms out there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It means more than you know. It goes such a long way. And I am so excited to continue on this journey with you guys. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I wanted to give you all a heads up too that I launched a free community on the Upspace app where you can join, ask me questions, connect with like-minded individuals, follow my 4-week running and strength training program that has some dedicated mobility sessions in there as well, so that we can all optimize our health and fitness together. So if you're interested, head over to the App Store, download the Upspace app, and join the Pure Ambition community today. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.